Hi everybody! Yay! Finally, welcome to our belated September 2023 reading. Yay! So I say belated because at the time that I'm publishing it, it is properly mid-month. Technically, I'm publishing this or doing this on the 19th. I said that it was 19 minutes. So not 19 minutes, 19 seconds on here. So why do I still question my timing? Somebody out there, let me know. Why am I questioning my timing about when I publish things? Because as we see, it is what it is when it should be. Now, that being said, before I jump in, I just want you to know that you are more than welcome to reach out to me if you feel the need to, if you're curious, if you'd like to know about anything at all. We do it all. You can find my link here right on this card, but also the Etsy link is somewhere on the page where you're accessing this video. All right, let's jump in. So guys, shortly before I pressed the play button, the record button, a card fell off out of my deck because I was shuffling. And guess what card it was? 1 minute, 11 seconds. It was, what was it? Oh, the Queen of Wands. Actually, it was the King of Wands. But in this deck, we have 4 kings. For masculine kings, and we have 4 feminine kings and 4 queens. So this was the King of Wands in its feminine form, but either way it was in the reversed. So I think it's pretty telling that we had both the feminine and masculine in the reversed on a very active card. What this is telling me in that split second, is that this month, and this was very much the case for half this month, right? This month is not one for you to be just going willy-nilly about doing so much activity. You're not exactly in full-on young moment. You're not asked to be dynamic and to sign contracts and do all of this, right? That was not the theme of this month up until this moment. Now, who knows what's going on now? We're going to take a look. But here we have the 10 of Pentacles that came out. So what I'm seeing, this is a little bit like in this, at 2 minutes, 22 seconds, in this space following what was pretty much the first half of the month of inactivity. And if you understand the astrology at this point, at this time, or during the month of September, you also know that the first 2 weeks of September were not the, what am I saying? The first 2 weeks of September were not moments to be overdoing it, right? But moving into now, what I'm seeing is that in that resting period, that energy, that holding pattern, if you'd like to use that term, that we found ourselves in, hopefully you will have gleaned some things. Some dust will have been able to settle because you're not all over the place. And what has settled after, and also you were able to receive a lot of downloads. Lots and lots of downloads were coming in the first part of this month, as well as definitely in the month of August. But now it's time to start getting specific about what you want, because now that we've done a lot of the clearing and you've been still enough to be able to see what's going on, then chances are you are now in a better position to know exactly what it is that you would like to have made manifest for you. If you were a real G, which obviously you are if you're watching this, if you're a real G, then you will have been taking notes on what you see in your physical environment, including the relationships you have, your behavioral patterns, the things you own, how many broken watches do you have around your house, any shingles that need to be changed, what's going on in your energetic space. Your energetic space is tantamount to saying your physical reality, what goes on your daily basis in your life. And when you turn on the TV for that 1 split second before you change the channel, what's playing? Pay attention, right? Because anything could be popping up into your reality. But out of all of the possibilities in all of existence, even the most random things in your life are not random. And actually, they're magnetized to you because of, wait for it, what you've got going on in your energy field, right? So one of the hallmarks of healing, in terms of looking at where somebody is in their healing process, is looking at how much of their experience they attribute to other people and how much of it they can locate, identify, within themselves, right? This takes time. It takes lifetimes sometimes. So anyway, long story short, regardless of where you fall on that spectrum of seeing your own association within the world that is around you, wherever you fall on that, there's no right or wrong, up and down, left, right. Now is a time for you to take stock of what it is that you would like and what it is that you would not like to have continue to be a part of your reality. Now, if you're like, but Jay, I totally didn't notice things. I was totally like, I was bedridden. I was going through some changes and I may have missed some things. First of all, you're totally okay, because maybe you've just been going through a lot of the symptoms, right, that come with having so much energy hit your, I won't say chart. The word chart always wants to come out, so I'm just going to say hit your chart. But I was going to say hit your energy field, but we're negotiating this channeling here, so to hit your chart. And so what that is maybe you just needed time to allow these energies to integrate, but it doesn't mean you can't still take a look and take stock of what was in your life. The first place to start is wait a minute, what came back into my reality during this retrograde? What's their name? What's the situation? What TV shows did I revisit? Did I rewatch? What situations in life are surfacing again, whether I'm experiencing it or whether I'm seeing it being experienced on TV or in the news or with other people in their life? These are your energies. I love how it gets slowed down. These are your energies, making themselves back known to you as the world is just reflecting back to us what's going on inside, right? Now, as you know, on this channel, we're very big on this level of accountability. You and wherever you are in your healing process or you're experiencing may not be at that space. And it may sound harsh to say, so I caused this and this and that. If that's not where you are and it doesn't ring true for you, be where you are, wherever that is. Let that be what you take away from this reading. It's not worth it to sit and say, hey, but because now you're getting into an energy of resistance, right? So one of the major themes of this month so far, see how we slid into that? That's a little bit of a slide, is acceptance. Acceptance in the sense that it's always you choose what you want to accept. Not only do you choose what you want to accept, you choose what you want to interpret something as meaning. Nothing means anything. Now, many of you may be like, yeah, but there are objective things that are bad. That is not the case. And if you don't believe me, just go ahead and just look up any one of these egregious, most heinous of things that are happening in the world and to people and to all sorts of stuff, and you will find at least one dissenter out there. If there is at least one dissenter out there, this shows you very strongly subjectivity. It's very quick and easy for someone to, in fact, use the programming of their society to inform the sanity or the legitimacy or the authenticity or the credibility of that voice, whoever it is. But you fail to understand it. You're still moving on a certain programming. Where's that programming coming from? Okay? How do you know what you know? Yes, all the studies. Have you done those studies? If you didn't sit there and do the study, then guess what? You are placing a certain level of trust in the reporting of people. Now, regular person reads something, gets agitated, blah, 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 bent out of shape, taking everything they're seeing for reality and for true and this and that and as objective, and now they're spinning out of control. When you head into maybe a little bit higher of your education and whatnot, and then you're disproving the very things that you used to be like experiencing as true and getting all head up about, because now you're using a different method of analysis. And that method of analysis is still very limited, right? Because it's just based on science and objectivity in many ways. And yes, there is a lot more to experience through there. But you see how now you bring in some more tools and your perspective has changed. Now you're looking at statistics, you're looking at how certain studies have been conducted. So you're also looking at the rhetoric behind this. You're looking at the society, you're looking at the discourse, you're looking at a lot of things, different variables that go into making something that may very well be subjective in many, many ways seem objective. Then there are even more people who are even more educated or have the same degrees, who are fighting against the very learning that they learn, especially if they used to be in that same realm and they're lauded, they're respected, but now they're thinking for themselves. They're going out there. They're taking what they researched using these lab equipments and stuff, and they're putting it another spin on it. They're taking even more authority back, because don't forget, just because you are having access to certain materials that are commonly associated with something being objective, it doesn't mean that there aren't moments there where certain permissions could be blocking you from having access to certain data, right? That can skew the field. There's just that's so funny, 11 minutes 11 seconds, they're bringing me back to what thought came to me this morning out of the blue. I'm just like, it's 6 something, I'm running for a little coffee, and they're like, there's many a slip between the cup and the lip. The problem though is a lot of people keep thinking that there's no slip. They don't see any chasm between the cup and the lip. They're like, oh, well, I've got these discourses at the ready. I've got these guild memberships. I've got this, that, and this objective. My name's on here, and this is how much millions of dollars behind my equipment. But if you don't have access to the back end of real stuff, you don't have that access to certain information. So you are playing within the realm of what has been allowed to be accessed. That is not the same as what is actually out there. Okay, and we see this, we know this, just watch any kind of show that deals with level 5 clearance. And level 6, and they're both high, but level 6 has more clearance than level 5. And this is, you have to understand, right? And so there are others who will do more of their getting in there, get more into the field research, show more, right? And somehow they're not disappeared, they're still around. But if you're down here, you're getting lost in the sauce. You're not thinking for yourself. You're moving on your conditioning. You've got unhealed wounds, and it's just all over the place, and you're distracted. And if you're here, you maybe even have some more ego because you've been given more tools, and so you go through rigorous things, and yes, you're uncovering things, but you don't want to believe that you have the full story, and most people do, because they get stuck at that place where it's like, well, I've seen the research out there and I've done this, and if it's out there, I would have known. But actually that assumption is very, very, very flawed, because again, there's certain learning on this planet that you will not have access to because you don't have the clearance. Number one. Number two, if you are not using more of your faculties, your third eye, right? If your clairs, your clairaudience, your clairsentience, your claircognizance, all these clairs are not online and they're not honed, because you can have an open third eye, but if you don't have the heart to interpret it, you're going to just be another person with metaphysical abilities that has no empathy, who doesn't have compassion, who doesn't consider. It's just like a scientist. You have access to all these tools and stuff, but if you don't have the heart there, you're operating on little buns, right? And you're pulling tails out of rats and all sorts of stuff just to do your experiments. So you have to understand the heart is very necessary. When you personally evolve, what that means in this age of awakening is that you are understanding the space you're in, and you are taking a step back. And then you are going inward because you understand that what is outside of you has no meaning except for what you give it. And you may ask, well, I'm giving this meaning because I'm going to stop you there. So you're just blindly following. You're going to be blind unless you work on the third eye area. You're going to lack the divinity to understand what it is that you're seeing more of with your third eye if you don't have your heart chakra activated and brought into the fourfold, right? Fourfold? You're going to flit off into space and want to be returned back to your star being cousins and go back home and this and that, and because with your starseed family, if you're not grounded here, you're going to miss out on the reality that really is beyond the physical state if you're too grounded. So my question is, where are you along this continuum? Who are you? What are you doing? So this whole time that we've been going through, and portal after portal after portal, full moon after full moon, blue moons, all this stuff, we're coming up to the equinox, all sorts of stuff, you're evolving. And it can be very easy to get lost out there on the internet, because I always think the internet is kind of Pandora's box, because it's just like Vegas. You will find what you're looking for. There are some people who can walk up and down, spend a whole week in Vegas. Who spends more than 3 days in Vegas? But anyway, you can spend a whole week there and have one type of experience. Another person can be there only for 2 days and get into major problems with themselves and their life. It has nothing to do with the place. It has to do with your energy field. What's your energy field like? If you've got low frequency, low vibrations, if you're mindlessly following things, it's my 21st, I'm going to Vegas, this is what everybody does, and you might find yourself into some trouble. Or you may be like, everyone does this, I'm just having fun. You go in and you'll leave, and that was it. That was the event. What's the difference here? Energy field, right? Somebody can be very promiscuous over and over and over and over and over again and never have any issues. All their partners and them, it's consensual, everybody's clean, no one's being left with feelings or catching feelings or hurt, and they're actually friends, and then another person, most people, will get themselves caught up. They sleep with that one person, no holds barred, 9 months later, STD'd up, right? All sorts of stuff. What's the difference? Let's look at the energetic space. What's going on inside? Because we understand that whatever is happening in your energetic space, in your energy field, your auric field, is emitting boink, a frequency. Now, what's the frequency? There's more than one signal that's being put out there. For example, wow, I really love a husband, and these are the reasons why, and this is what I'm doing to find him. And I'm even making mood boards. And I'm making lookbooks to change myself. And I'm doing, vision boards. And I'm taking this dating class. And I'm understanding this. And I'm on these Tinders and Grinders and all. I don't know. What are people using these days? I don't know. But the minute you walk into your friendly local healer, hi, boom, we see it right in the field. Immediately, you don't actually want somebody. That's why nothing's happening. Or you're getting a lot of people who are just repeating patterns of disappointment for you. Because right here, it shows you actually hate men. And it actually has nothing to do with men in this lifetime. It has to do with your relationship to your own masculine. Let's look at it. Of course, people are going to be like, what? That's ridiculous. I totally want this. But they fail to realize they are moving off of a conscious mind state of awareness, which is not even fully admissible in the court of law under certain situations. If you're trying to you can easily walk into your friendly local therapist and they will point out to you after you tell your story all of these blind spots. What do you think your trusted and loving energy healer is seeing in your field? It's distortion. It's cognitive dissonance. It's lack of awareness. It's unconsciousness. Everybody has that, myself included, right? We're working with our team, right? And so you may wonder, well, what am I supposed to do with that knowledge? Well, the first thing that you do, and I always like to keep it simple on this channel, the first thing that you do is you remember that who you are is always the same. You are love, period. Do not try to understand that. You will not understand that from this level of experience at the visceral level that you would feel it if you were really beyond this dualistic plane. Just trust it. That is what it is. You are love, you are light, period. But down on this dimension, It is one where there is duality. So you're no longer perceiving of oneness, which is the truth of all of creation, but you are seeing other, right? There's me, and there's you, and there's mom, and there's dad, and that's my mean music teacher, and that's my blah, 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 and that's my ex-boyfriend, and this is all, story mode. And you can, from a higher perspective, have story mode, because story mode has victim consciousness, poverty consciousness, 3D physicality, ailments, distorted realities. Yeah, all of these things are existing in this level of perspective. But the more you grow and the more you heal yourself, the more you mature, 20 minutes, 20 seconds, your perspective changes. This is definitely, we see this along the life cycle in general, in the maturation process, from a cute little kid, like everything's me, up to a really wise adult. We seek the wisdom of our elders, but today we understand that not all elders have the wisdom. This is the knowledge that you have to start moving towards. Just because somebody says they have this degree, or they're this age, or they come from this culture, or they look like this, or they have this much money, that doesn't mean anything. When you start to do your healing work and you look inside yourself, and you start to understand, what are my pains? What are my fears? What is my drive in life? There are people who are driven to succeed. There are people who are driven to nurture. Like, I would just want to be a mother and have kids, or I want to be a father and have kids and raise my family, or I want to start business and I just want to succeed and I want to achieve. And these are all fine. But you have to understand that who you are, which is just love and light, period, no condition, no nothing else, is different from who you're being. And the part of who you're being is more of the personality that has been chosen to experience. Because that's what the soul wants. The soul's perfect. It's like, hey, we're good. We're just, we're doing us. We're living that life. And hey, want to go into earth and have this experience? Cool. Well, you were super wealthy and, did all that stuff in that other lifetime. What are you doing this time? Well, this time I want to experience being not wealthy. I want to have a lot of adversity, and I kind of want to see what I do with it, right? That's that level up there. But down here, we're feeling the whiplash. We're feeling the burn. And you forgot who you are, and you forgot all the stuff that came in before, the life planning and all of that before now. And on top of that, 22 minutes, 22 seconds, you're in the Kool-Aid. Whether you call it the matrix, whether you call it programming, whether you call it design, whatever you want to say, you're in collective consciousness. Think about, I'm not going to say the term because I don't want any, F book, the place where everybody's like meeting and greeting and spewing and bots are bounding and all that stuff. Everybody who understands that space understands that it's an emotional cesspool. If you're still going on there for your news and to be programmed into what to think and who to get mad at today because they're not sharing your ideas and they can't see and they don't understand what they're backing that person and you're backing this person and if you're in that mode, I just want you to know it's time to unplug, right? Who are you outside of this? Outside of this whole thing, your love, great. But who are you being? There's a space between the who you are, which is love and light, ding, at a very high level, right? Closer to oneness and out there. And then there's who you're being here, and this is you going through your emotions, having your thoughts, your emotions, your gut reactions, your actions. There's space for mindfulness. The mindfulness comes between these two spaces. I know who I am. Down here, I'm being a certain way. I'm unconscious. I'm just rolling with programming. I like this because I fall into this demographic and I look like this and I talk like this and I'm from this place and I identify with this. Like, that's so toxic. You're literally a focus group of some boardroom somewhere that got you early. That got your mind very early. very, very early with the toy programming and the sugar and the this and that, and then graduated you into the tween marketing and the programming and the tech and the this, and then you became a teen and the programming and the tech, and this is what you eat, drink with pizza. It's got to be this drink, and if you don't drink that, your friends are going to make fun of you because you should be drinking this with your pizza, and all of this stuff. And now you're older and you can wear makeup and you can put your nails on, you can wear this, and it's the summer, you can't wear, why wear beige when you can wear white, and hey, let's, be mean to other people and let's kill them for their sneakers because blah, 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 blah. It's programming. That's following behavior. And you will continue to follow and you will continue to do that. Look at this. The same thing. Shadow. Until you step out of your programming, disconnect, and look inside. Then you will start to realize, I'm actually not the same as the person that I was lumped into in that focus group. Yeah. And you're so not the same that if you come into your healing space with your lovely shaman, your lovely healer, they will see you inside. When we see you, what are we seeing? There are a couple of people who may be watching this video and it totally resonates for a lot of people, whether they press the like button or whether they don't, whether the holding resonates or whether some of it does. It resonates for a lot of you. But the minute you come into my doors, we see the different manifestations, the different areas of life that this resonant detail or dynamic is playing out for you, right? At the end of the day, when we look into, me and my guides, when we look into your energy field, we are seeing your current frequency and energetic stuff. We're seeing the parts of you that are active and vibrating and are calling themselves forth to be healed. Yes, themselves, because they are consciousness. You can have a full-blown conversation with these parts of you, right? They'll tell you your whole story. They'll talk about how they're acting out. They'll say what they want. They want pizza. And when I tell you, this part of you wants pizza, it's 16 years old and it's really mad at its parents right now because they're going through a divorce and they're forgetting about, him and he's just F everybody and I just want to go hang out by myself and just eat pizza all day and I don't care how that affects my health and by the way, he's saying F me because he doesn't like being seen and he doesn't like being told what to do, and then the person's like, oh my god, that was me at 16. And it's so funny because for the last week and a half I've been wanting pizza so badly. Yes you have, because the part of you that is calling forth the healing right now, which is a consciousness that's fragmented because of pain, it's ready to be healed. What is healing? It is the reintegration of self. This is the movement from fragmentation on the inner space to integration. It's soul integration, right? And so it's ready. And it's got a personality. It's got feelings. And then maybe you'll say, oh yeah, and it was around 15, 16 and my parents, I could tell that they were going to divorce and I was losing a lot of sleep and I just got lost in my music and I would stay out late and be in the music room and I would just order pizza because I wasn't home and I started getting big and my blah, blah, blah. And then it just, the details roll in because what is occurring on the outside is easily seen on the inside. And that includes the information and the engagement with other people's energies in your field. It'll be easy. Oh, there's this person is also in this space with you and they're holding you, but they're also stabbing you. What's that about? Oh, at that time I was dating this person who was 15 years older. My parents didn't know, and they were pretty much bankrolling a lot of stuff, and I found a lot of comfort. But next minute they would gaslight me or hurt me, and that's the same time I went snowboarding with them and I hurt my back, and oh yeah, because they're stabbing you in the back right here. We see that here, right? Let's clear it. So all of these things are here, and it's all very readily available to you. You don't have to go and talk to anybody like me or anyone else in order to have this healings get started. It is just, you have to just take steps to do the opposite of what you've been understandably doing for a while. You've been denying yourself. There are parts of us that are so painful from other lifetimes in this lifetime that we push it aside. We deny ourselves and we keep going on like it's normal. But what we don't realize is our whole modus operandi, the drives that we want in life, the things we want to accomplish, our thoughts, our judgments, our logic, our reasoning, our emotions, what makes us feel good, what makes us feel really bad and makes me confused, and then our gut reactions, and then the actions we end up taking are all a product of the conglomerate of what's going on. So you can understand how if you change certain things in your field, eating better, exercising, clearing your field, meeting up with your shaman, taking control of your physical health, all this stuff changes the energies. It creates healing within. And what's the difference? You turned your attention inward, boop, to look at what you have been denying. That's why shadow work is important. Shadow work is literally you taking the decision to accept whatever it is that comes through. It's your lack of acceptance that keeps you away from that, because you're so afraid that what you see is going to be true about you. But it's not true. The only reason you're carrying on with these ideas is because you haven't had a chance to really have a loving space to sit and look at it. Because you keep thinking that you're this horrible person. Otherwise, God wouldn't kick me out. God wouldn't make all this. God has nothing to do with how you are planning your life this lifetime and how you're choosing to experience. Your free will is in the planning, and then down here at certain times to choose. So this is a confusion that people are getting a lot, and they're projecting onto an energy they cannot even talk about because they don't know what the conscious mind. So what are we doing? So you know God or your creator by heart, not by mind. Now I do want to talk about this process of fragmentation. We have soul fragmentation because of our beliefs. And if you follow our channel, we're very, 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 very big on understanding that the core misbelief at the bottom of all of this is the false belief. You can call it original sin if you want to use that word. You can call it as the initial mistaken reasoning if you want to call it that word. You can call it whatever you want. That's semantics, and don't get lost in discourse because it'll divide you, right? Just look at it for what it is. Oops, my bad. Totally made a mistake with that. The original mistake and reasoning is that you are not loved, and you know that because God abandoned you. He kicked you out because here you are suffering. So it must mean that God doesn't love me, the universe forgot me, there is no God, F you, Lieutenant Dan, full out, on the ship, like, F you, come, you want me, come get me, right? He got it all out, and then he turned his life around because he was like, oh, I was going through some stuff. Yes, you are going through some stuff from lifetimes, and that's why it's so deep, it's so painful. And from this lifetime as well, it's wound upon wound upon wound upon wound. And then coming into this earth plane to heal yourself, but then getting stuck in the programming that is here that is not loving. It's programming that will push you into feeling you have to be obedient to something, you have to worship something, you have to be reverent to something, you have to sacrifice to something, you have to show your respects to something. Spirit doesn't move that way. If you're moving with energies that are like that, you must understand they're very, very close to the earth plane and they're having those feelings. Okay, so if you want to work with beings, some of you working with beings that you're giving things to all the time, and you feel that you have to show up a certain way in order to get something from them, you are taking yourself out of the place of your sovereignty, and you are choosing to do the same thing that you do here with our governments and with your parents and with whoever, where you're giving up portions of your sovereignty to something else, and you are attaching to these energies as a condition. The condition is you will be happy with me, you will be proud with me, you will work with me, you will give me things, you will give me information. Some of you, you will serve me if I do this for you, okay? And that's fine if that's the method that you want to choose to express through. But I want you guys to know you do not have to do any of that. You don't have to light one candle. You don't have to use one crystal, although these things are very lovely and we love them and I love them, right? You don't have to do that. You just need to remember who you are. I am. Boom. That's it. I'm love. And you have to follow that through. If you are love, And if you choose to believe that you have a creator, think about it. The most loving parents on this earth, you know this because then you're online flipping, we're all doing it right after dark. And we're looking at YouTube shorts and we're seeing comments like, oh my gosh, everyone has to protect this father. We have to protect these two. Why? Because those parents are touching a chord in them as they're viewing of what it means to be loved. It is the parent who is like, hey, I don't care what this world says. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to snuggle you and cuddle you and I'm going to love you. I'm not going to have you crying out in a crib. I don't care who says that. It goes against what I feel. I'm not going to have you crying out in a crib. And there are so many people who have their children sleeping close to them. They answer them when they need, because that's how babies let you know they need something. When they need something, I'm crying because I can't speak. I'm crying, please attend to me. What you're doing is you're building reliability. A lot of you come from places where there's so much neglect. And then you pick up on, and you're like, oh, well, I've turned out all right. And then you defend your culture. You can still love your culture while calling out the toxic parts of it. You defend your culture. Oh, that's just how our parents are. And that's just how whatever. But they did the best they could. They loved me. Yeah, they loved you in the way that they could. Yes, they did the best that they could. But it doesn't mean that you got what you needed. And it doesn't mean that you were not adversely affected. So your problem here is your inability to get past the paradox. When you take a higher perspective on things, now you can include both. It is true that my parents loved me to the best that they could, and it is also true. Oh, and they kept a roof over my head, and they, because of their sacrifice or whatever, I was able. But it's also true that, hey, I kind of wish they had a manual for me. Yeah, but no one comes with a manual. But I can still recognize that I didn't get what I needed to thrive. Because here I am secretly having anger and resentment and bitterness towards my loving parent that I will deny till this day until I come into the healing space and my reader's like, oh, by the way, I'm seeing this here. Let's take a look at it. I don't hate my parents. You're right. You don't hate your parents, but you have a lot of resentment inside here that you're not looking at. You're choosing to deny because understandably you are the child and you've got these different parts of you. There's an inner child that is too guilt-ridden and afraid to actually think these things about mommy and daddy because I can't think about them like that. I love my mommy and daddy. Yes, but we have to understand that you can still love someone and still keep it 100, right? It's your inability or your unwillingness to allow yourself to have this space, this grace for both of these things to be true that stops you from having the health that you need. Guess what? Now you're walking around with hidden anger. This is a shadow. Hidden resentment. This is a shadow. Hidden bitterness. This is a shadow. And you think it's hidden, but your own friend will be like, dude, you're like really mad at your mom, aren't you? You're like, what do you mean? I love my mom. We're best friends. And your friend's like, okay. You don't see it because you don't want to, right? So this is what shadow work is. It's about bringing yourself into a space, and of course, do your best to do it with somebody you care about, a licensed therapist who you feel could really take you there. And it's okay to switch around if you feel guided to work with different therapists or maybe a healing that's a guy said that. I was gonna say a healing professional. We're gonna honor what's coming through. A healing professional to work with you guys. There's so many modalities, right? And of course we do that here on our channel. But I was gonna say maybe a religious person that you trust and has the heart space and the lack of judgment, right? Sometimes you just need somebody to allow you to speak about your experience and to be in that space of awareness and not to then feed you back jargon about how this is wrong or that's right or this or that and you're disobedient and say these things 30 times and there's a time and space. And part of this age of Aquarius is about understanding not only do you need to start going inward and taking control of your experience, starting with shadow work and accepting and loving yourself enough to say, no matter what I uncover inside, I still love myself. I'm still awesome. And you know what? Someone out there believes so too, because I'm still here. Someone made me. They knew me. They made me. They knew me. So whatever I think I'm adding to this conversation is not, right? Now, what I wanted to say also is sometimes the trauma is so deep, whether it's from this lifetime or another lifetime, that your integration process requires shamanic principles. Hold on. Let me take a sip of my tea. Synchronized cups. Oh, wait, maybe I should drink water. Okay, anyway, it's over there. And by that, I'm talking about soul retrieval. So, our natural state is oneness, right? Just is. There's no up, no down, no in, no out, no tall, no short. I am. And that's everybody. Right? Now, according to different discourses, remember, anytime we're trying to talk about God or something that's out there, we are in the land of discourse. And we do the best that we can, but we don't over attach to it, right? Because, we're limited in our ability to perceive of something that is beyond words, something that is beyond emotions that we can't even feel in this human body. We can barely see certain things that our dog and cat can see, and we can't. So we have to understand to put things into perspective. But when we think about what is, just there are certain discourses that say we are all one, and that our Creator, in a desire just to know itself better, right? No big drama, no this and that, to know itself better, blink, fragmented itself. And here we are, all cute little sparks of the divine. Not down here. Down here we are, we have personalities, our souls are playing different roles to kind of, whether you want to call it avatars, all that stuff, whatever, it's discourse. But, who you are is the light. Who you are is source. Whatever the Creator is, whatever it is, that's who you are. You are a spark of that divinity. 41 minutes, 41 seconds. So when you're out here playing small, let me go ahead and rephrase that. When we are out here playing small, we're deep in the lie. We're deep in the lie. But then some people will pick up arms and kill another person because they don't agree with their idea of God. But they're wrong too. So they are part of God. They are God in fragmented form. And then they just killed God in an effort to defend God of their own limited ability to perceive. Do you understand what I mean? And so when we start to just keep our principles simple, it's very simple. No one knows what the hell is going on out there, okay? Everyone has an idea, but those ideas are untrustworthy because most people can't even see beyond their shoes. And maybe they're not supposed to, based on the personality they chose this time. If that person chose to come in and their purpose for themselves this time, unlike other times, is to advance a certain innovation, then they may need to be less in the spiritual mindedness and more in the scientific or earthy or whatever space in order for that information, which is still energetic downloads coming in for them, to be able to come through. Some people came in because they want to heal themselves. They're healing their past lifetimes. They're healing their perceptions, right? And then others came in to also heal. Everyone maybe comes in to heal in multiple missions or multiple purposes, but some probably came in to awaken others. What is the awakening? It's, hey, are you thinking for yourself? Are you loving yourself? Look at your programming. And then of those people who are doing that, because we're just going to go on that road, because a lot of you watching, you're in this track, right? If you are coming here and you feel like it is your calling to assist in what we call the Great Awakening, you can change that. The Great Unplugging, the Great Deprogramming, the Great Return to Self, the Great Return to Love, the Great, hey, oh my God, what have I been doing these last few lifetimes? Whatever you want to call it, right? It's up to you how you do that. But on this channel, the messages that are coming through for those who are choosing to do this and those who enjoy the method that is being brought here, because at the end of the day, you think for yourself, right? This may be what you need today, and then tomorrow it may be something else, and then maybe you'll come back to this, or you never will. You have to remain ideologically flexible to give yourself what you need. So on this channel, when we talk about things like the ego and doing your shadow work and all of this, it's very heavy on the energy field work, because you guys know that I do energy healing, intuitive counseling, all of that, right? And what is really happening for those of you is that you're bringing more of what? Your own wisdom, capital W, into your vessel. But the state of your energy field needs to be looked at first, because if you're walking around with certain frequencies and certain beliefs about the world and about yourself, I don't care who's sending you energy, what's coming in, you will bounce it back. It's not that spirit doesn't want to give you this, whatever it is you're asking for. You literally cannot receive it because of what you're believing. Your beliefs are what contribute 100% to your health and well-being, to your sanity, to your whatever. You have to change your beliefs so that you can get into a place of empowerment and sovereignty, reality. It is not reality to have so much hate and division. It is not reality to see somebody doing something and get all bent out of shape. It is not reality to get so overly identified with a nation that you will pick up arms and you will go around the world. People don't want to hear this stuff. They don't want to hear that stuff. It may be something that it may be something that some of you were like, this is definitely the path I'm going in my soul chart for this learning. Some of you may have chosen that path, but it's not your highest path. Do you understand? How you have so many paths that you can do. It is also not reality to put yourself in a position and open, let's say, a cute little nursery for people and for little people, little people. And then you are not in your heart space and you're hurting them and all these things, right? So you have to stop and ask, I'm doing this. Wow, I just gave this person a sandwich. I just shot this video. I just came back from work. I just joined this organization. I just joined this institution. I just asked for money from here. I just donated money. I just had this conversation with my neighbor and I just got into an argument with them. I just cursed out this person on the street. I just pulled on this person's burqa because I didn't like that they were wearing it. You have to put the pause. What are you doing? And why? Who fed you the idea that led to you thinking what you just did, whether society or you can sleep at night and call it the right thing to do, it's perfect, or it's not good, or you shouldn't have done that? What went into that moment manifesting and pouring out through you? I don't care who your employer is. If you press that button that drops something on a whole bunch of people, we have to look at some stuff. Who's holding the bag? Who's holding that guilt, that shame, that karma? Some people believe discursively in karma, others discursively do not. From where I'm sitting, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you're okay with what you did, then hey, who can judge you? But I will let you know this, what you deem okay in one frame of mind and this conscious level of awareness is different from what you deem okay when you leave this space. And how is that hard to understand if you know that what you deemed okay at 25 is what you will look back now on today at, I don't know, 35? I don't know. At your current age and be like, Face palm. Oh, what the hell was I thinking? Oh my gosh. What was I doing? I had to go back and actually apologize to this person. I actually had conversations about this with my therapist because you know what? It doesn't sit right with me. And to be honest, it hasn't been sitting right with me for a very long time. I just didn't realize it. And now that I'm sitting and I'm thinking and I'm reflecting, I'm connecting with this live person, this therapist, who's showing me this, or this family member or this friend that God brought in, or somebody, this stranger on a park bench, I realized I was out of character. I was out of line. And I didn't know that I was so caught up in discourse, propaganda, programming, religious thought, right? But not really the loving kind, because there is really loving religion out there, expression, and that's really practiced by the person who's extending it, right? And I realized that I made choices after that were in alignment with that person I was being. And the person I am today, I can't even imagine what I was doing, right? And there's got to be a conversation about growth. We're all here to grow. We're all here to experience. There are certain discourses out there that will say we're not here to grow, we're not here to learn, we're just here to experience. There are others that say we're here to grow and experience. Discourse, discourse, discourse. At the end of the day, you give yourself the purpose you want for yourself. So this is why we were talking about through the posts not too long ago. What is your purpose? Do you have one? It doesn't have to be a purpose with a capital P. It could be something as simple as, well, you know what? My purpose today is to have more joy than yesterday. My purpose today is to go into the office and not want to wring somebody's neck. It doesn't matter. Just have, anybody? The point is, have an idea. Have an idea of what you want. And then really do a little due diligence. Where is this idea coming from? What's going on? Am I changing? Am I growing? Am I having new ideas? How do I feel when I see somebody get something brand new? Wow, the neighbors just got a car. How do I feel about that? Am I mad? Wow, those kids are having fun on my lawn, and I'm kind of getting mad right now. What's going on? Where are your emotions? What are your thoughts? Have you given up on life? I would invite you to think, no matter where you are right now, no matter who you are, no matter what bleak outlook you have on life, or what really amazing, expansive outlook you have on life, whatever's going on with you, I would invite you to consider the role of your programming. Your programming refers to the conditioning that you've received. And I want to say this very quickly to show you the depth and the impact of conditioning. Let's say, God bless, that you've got this bathroom, right, here we are. Everyone's got a bathroom, God bless, right? And oh my gosh, the toilet seat is broken. You know, when it breaks somehow after a long time, and then you have to change the toilet seat. Well, anyway, the toilet's fine, but we just gotta switch out the seats. And you can't do it yet, so you're going, because you're busy and you've got all sorts of stuff going on. So here you are taking a whole week just, slipping and sliding or hovering or just, basically adjusting to this broken seat. And then finally, on the 7th day, you were able to change your seat. Guess what you're doing for the next 4 days? You are now sitting all weird on it. You're like, oh yeah, it's fixed. Oh, I keep opening the lid gingerly because I don't want it to fall off. Oh yeah, it's fixed. If you got that programmed to change the way you're being in your space, the way you're relating to your space unconsciously and consciously, after just a few days, what do you think you're doing from your childhood, from your past lifetimes? What do you think you're doing? This is why it's important. If it is your desire, if it's not your desire, then this isn't the channel for you, right? Yay! But if it is your desire to understand yourself, this is not about understanding who you are. You will arrive at who you are because you already know who you are. You are love. Case closed. But that is something that is just, it's arrived at. When you remove all these obstacles in your way. What are the obstacles? From an energetic standpoint, as your friendly local reader, hi! When we look in your field, there are structures. Oh, let me go ahead and move this. Let me go ahead and surgically remove that. Let me go ahead and suture this. This is what we're doing in the field. Let me dissolve that. Let me flow through this. All this stuff is in your energy anatomy. There are structures in there. What are these structures from? Why are they in there? Why is there a whole blockage in my throat? And like I'm getting heartburn. Oh, well, that's because there is literally a structure in there. And as I touch it and I look at it, it's screaming mother issues. Let's talk about it. And as we talk about it, I'm feeling it start to chip away. Sometimes it'll try to hide in a lung or something. Let's pull it out. Maybe it has a habit of going back and forth, and I let you know, hey, this guy's like all over the place. You're like, oh yeah, I've had asthma for the last 4 years and I don't know why. Let's talk about it. Let's remove it. And then when we remove it from your field, guess what's happening? Now I'm starting to see green energy all in your mouth, from your chest all in your mouth, because something was blocking the ability of this energy from the heart space to flow up. And guess what you just reported feeling? Wow, I'm feeling really warm. What are you doing? Well, nothing. We just restored some functioning here. We are seeing a little bit of a hole in this ventricle here. Let's take care of it here in the non-physical space. Oh yeah, my father and his father passed because of this heart defect. Are you saying I have it? Because I was just at the doctor and they said I'm looking great and I'm doing really well. Yes, you are. But I am seeing that energetically in your energy anatomy. No biggie. We're looking at it. Let's go ahead and start working on it now so we can clear it. And then you won't have to have that experience in this lifetime. There's a correlation. Okay? There's the root. What's the root cause of this? Oh, I'm seeing here. This is related to a big loss financially in the family. It doesn't look like it started in this lifetime or in this generation. This is a bleed through. What's going on here? It feels like somebody lost like a whole farm and so many family members were no longer able to eat and some died. And so there's this pain in the heart that's, oh my God, that's what happened to my great-great-grandfather. Okay, well, here we see what's going on. So thank you very much for doing some due diligence here and assisting the family bloodline to clear this. Here's the good news. Maybe you don't have to experience that in this physical space, right? And so, long story short, as we say, thoughts are things. They're consciousness, your consciousness. Who are you? You're love. What is love? Pure consciousness. But you appear to be of a certain body and a physicality here because you are expressing your wholeness, only a part of it, by the way, because there are parts of you that are higher dimensions. They're just too high to be seen by the physical eyes in the physical dimension, but here you are seeing your physicality. And if you understand that you're boing, 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 multi-dimensional creatures, we're creatures, I guess, creations. If we understand that we're multi-development, oh my God, multi-dimensional beings, right? Creatures, creations, whatever you want to say, multi-development, I have to laugh, beings. I just got, oh my God, stop. I was just going to say, I just got an image of a banana. Yeah, some people are going to get triggered like that. I'm not related to the apes. I'm going to ask you to pump your brakes, okay? You don't know what you are down here, okay? Because now we're getting into a discourse of Earth history. What Earth really has been going through with civilizations extends beyond what has been allowed to be written about in textbooks. And you will understand that textbooks vary already across country to country, city to city, state to state. Okay? You best believe there are certain things that are not allowed to be put in any textbooks unless you are part of a group of people who are in the know. So I will just leave that conversation, but they wanted to bring it up to let you know that Earth's history includes energy, DNA, extraterrestrials, galactic cousins. It includes all of that, and you will not be aware of that at this time unless you do your own feeling in. This is not an excuse to get lost in the discourse online, and by no means should you tap into what you're getting in the news. I'm just gonna say that because you're not gonna get what is, okay? But putting that aside, since you know that you're a multidimensional being, and your physical eyes are only able to see your cute little hands at the physical because it's vibrating at a frequency being vibrations per second, that your eyes, a human eye, is able to perceive of, there's a certain range, right? Then you also understand that there are little hands, you have other hands, ding, 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 that are also here, but they're in other dimensions. In other words, they're just vibrating too fast. Think of the ceiling fan. That's like going way too fast for your eyes to, catch up with. But it doesn't mean it's not a ceiling fan, and it doesn't mean it's not going, and it doesn't mean there aren't blades. It just means you can't see it. It's the same thing. So if you know that as within, so without, as above, so below, if you know that anything that comes into the physical, which is just a past moment, the physical has already taken place in the non-physical, and if you understand that as your energy workers and your shamans and all that, we can see these structures blocking the flow of energy, obstructing things, distorting things, implants, etheric implants, all of these things. If we see it in there, and we can connect with you and remove those things, and then help you to change your perception, your programming. This is what the miracle is a change in perception. If we can help you to see yourself with more love, and thereby see the world with more love, detach from the false meanings that you've been programmed for, and we remove these things, and you don't bring them back in through your false reasoning, what do you think will happen to the physical body? It will heal, because the physical body is just an effect. We love it, we adorn it, and we should be using our buttery soft lotions and adorning ourselves, or not if that's not your thing, but don't mistake the body for the source. No. Just like you won't mistake your skin, very, very important, you won't mistake your skin for the heart. One of these things is keeping the body going, okay? Do you understand what I mean? So, what's the last thing I wanted to say? So when you understand how healing works, you understand that your thoughts, because you're pure consciousness, all of your ailments, all of your accidents, all of these things, the root cause, even the reality, the movement, the chair and the desk. When you heal, you naturally want to rearrange stuff in your room because the energy's flowing differently. Okay? When you look around your room and you see a lot of trash all over, you see a lot of broken bulbs, you got 4 watches, you didn't change, all of this, what's going on with this death energy in your in your space? We need to discard, we need to get stuff out, because this is directly reflecting stuff you've got hanging out in your field. And doesn't mean, don't believe for a second that just because someone has a place that's all spick and span and it's beautiful and this and that they're all hunky-dory, because we look in the field and then we start to see some trauma attached to this idea of perfection. It's hiding in there, but we'll find it, because that's what we do when we work in the energy field, and we do it with love. The last thing I'll say is, when you understand the role that your energy field plays, you will be blown away. Resume, don't need it. Realtor, for what? Right? Doctor, not as often as I think, because your preventative stuff, lots of it can be taken care of in a non-physical. And get this, at some point you'll realize, because you've really been putting your time into it, you don't really need other people to heal you. Until you can step into that space for yourself, that's how your friendly local readers help you. We just create the energetic conditions, the space for you to heal yourself. But eventually you can do this yourself. But either way, wouldn't it be great? Yeah, you're a cosmetologist, but it's always nice to get your hair done, isn't it? Because sometimes you just have blind spots. And that's where we are today. All right. Interesting. I totally did not know they were going to talk about this. Who's they? Is it the guides? Is it my higher self? Is it a wisdom, right? Right? Always be asking, but always set your intentions, right? And just so you know, we already have called our divine protections in, and our space has been grounded and cleared, and so you can trust that we are well taken care of here. And the reason why I want to let you know that right now is because some of you, they're so interesting. Listen, we're out here, guys, I love this channel because they're always changing. I was going to say training. They're always training. Some of you are, two things. Number one, stepping into bounty. What is bounty? Yeah, I'm going to stop you from putting all the items you think it is. Bounty is the flow of your own energy, flowing unimpeded, okay? But as the flow starts to happen, what are you going to do with it? Not are you going to donate it? Are you going to tithe? I'm not talking about that. Are you going to stop yourself from flowing again? The only reason why you ever stopped flowing is because you chose to believe certain beliefs that stop the flow. All comes back to unworthiness, all right? So let's play a game. How open can you consider yourself as being to the flow of goodness? Anytime some idea pops up, oh, I must be a horrible person because nope. Oh, I'll never be able to hold on to this. Nope. Oh, I don't deserve this. Nope. Some of you don't even realize you're doing it. Someone gives you something and you immediately try to give it away to someone. Oh, yeah, my friend made me this, but I think it'd look better on you. From an energy healer's perspective, you basically just self-sabotaged yourself. Let's talk about it. But you're like, no, but my friend, no, because I'm seeing the pattern here, right? So start looking deeper, understanding yourself. Why am I doing what I'm doing? First of all, what am I doing? What am I doing? Let's look at it. And also remember that no matter what I'm doing, I'm still amazing. I love myself. I'm not going to be here judging myself because you know what? Source is not out here judging me. I'm breaking the pattern. A lot of people want to be the generational curse breaker. I'm breaking generational patterns of my family. Yeah, save that energy for breaking your own patterns, okay? It's easier for people to say, I'm the curse breaker in the family. I'm the generational curse breaker. But when it comes to them changing their own patterns of thought about themselves, it's like tumbleweeds. And we love tumbleweeds because they're really cute and brambly. But like right now we need some people to show up, right? So shift your mind so that you are loving yourself. You're accepting yourself. Oh man. And sometimes, we don't want to accept who we were. If you were like, for example, a player back in the day and you broke a lot of hearts, you might have told yourself things along the way to be okay with that. Like, oh, well, he knew what this was, or whatever. And he's acting like he didn't like other people. Whatever you told yourself at the time, it doesn't matter, right? But now, if you're ready to really look at it and look at, dare I say it, the damage that was caused, and the identity that people who do those things are labeled as, look at it. Oh, yeah, I was a player. But ladies are players too. Oh, I was heartless. Oh, I was a little, dude, I was so unempathetic. Oh, I was obnoxious. Ugh, I didn't deserve him. I was toxic. Oh my God, I was the toxic one in all my exes. Right? Allow it. Look at it. Then feel it. Because it's those identities that you're hiding from. No one wants to know they were the bad guy, right? No one wants to know they hurt somebody else. No one wants to know that their lack of empathy has somebody else on a therapist couch for years. No one knows that what they did at that young age or older age completely led to the disruption of somebody else's life. And that if we looked in that person's energy field and we saw the reason why they are this age at this time is because they had you as a partner. And they're at this age with no spouse, no kids, maybe a slight addiction problem in shopping or drinking or whatever, and they keep to themselves because of what you did to them. Ouch! No one wants to hear that. But we're very quick to point at the other people who did it for us. And we curse their name and we wish bad. Well, not me. I'm not trying to wish bad on anyone because I know how that energy works, right? Right? So why would we go and talk about this? Because if you are willing to accept that you are not always perfect in how you're being, because you are light and you're love, so you're perfect. We're just down here having some experiences, right? But while you're down here, you're doing some stuff that's pretty shitty, okay? And not all of those things are written in the soul chart. Some of them you took some liberties. Which ones? We don't know. Don't even try to guess, because you can't know until you look at the chart. Things that seem like choices were not. Things that don't seem like choices were. So don't even bother. But the whole takeaway here is the part of you that is so fearful of being associated with a certain persona, a certain archetype, a certain catalyst, an impetus for something, is you deny it because you don't want to be that person. But if you can get over that today and say, doggone it, it happened, and I am willing to look at the story. Look at the story. Tell the story. Be the bad guy in the story. You don't think your soul wanted to be a bad guy this time around at some points? Just like it wanted to be a good guy at some points in the story? Because it understood that you can get both sides of it. And it hoped, honest to God, that you would see that whatever is going on down here is not to punish you, is not to judge you. You're not a hellion. You're probably not an angel. But at the end of the day, you got to experience. The problem is down here, we cannot see it that way because we're programmed, there it is again, to see life a certain way. And because we're programmed, when we start to move into taking certain actions and beliefs that are not seen as acceptable in our society, it's too painful because we have deep-seated wounds of abandonment. So guess what is like death to us? Ostracism, abandonment, being canceled, things like that. And if you understand that that is such a deep wound for people, then you understand how off a lot of people are out there when they're just commenting things because somebody said something, sometimes true, about a celebrity. Now 5 million people are spamming that person until they change, they get off social media. They may lose a family, a marriage, and they may jump off a building. No one cares because they don't have to be in the room and see the effects of what they're doing. But today, you don't have to be that person. Get off the programming reel, because there's a lot of behavior today that is just unconscionable. But it's like killing a frog by boiling it. You just turn the temperature up a little bit more until what? The frog's dead. The thing is, the frog didn't notice because it is a cold-blooded animal. And not like cold-blooded, not like that. I mean, literally blood is considered cold-blooded. And so it takes on the temperature outside. So do you want to be that person who's just being pushed by your programming to get more and more into unconscionable behavior? Or would you like to think for yourself, feel for yourself, and look at what you're doing? Look at what you're being. Look at how you're moving in the space. Look at your space. What do you have energetically in your space? What do you have? Do you have trash all over the floor? Do you have things going on in your life? Did you not have a shower for like 6 days? Are you trying to be nice to your nephew, but you're running your mouth in a negative way at the barista at Starbucks? What are you doing? Where's the cognitive dissonance? And this is not to make us feel bad about ourselves. This is to be like, oh shoot. Oh my God, thank you. I didn't realize that, but I'm going to take this home and I'm going to sit and think about it. Look, I'm calling myself out here. My guides know, but you don't know, but they know. And I know. We both know. 1 hour. It was 1 hour, 13 minutes, 13 seconds on that when I said we both know, right? But we're out here having these conversations. And at the end of the day, no matter what comes to you, if it's on your desk, have that moment before you even go to act. You reflect, you have mindfulness. Well, what am I doing? Oh, this made me feel a certain way. Why? Where in my body am I feeling it? Why does this make me so angry? what do I want to do? What do I want to do here? How many tires am I slashing today? I just want to get a count, right? And then am I, like, I want to do something here, but is it the right thing? Like, and then maybe you'll still go with that gut reaction, or maybe you'll take another action. But either way, the mindfulness is what we want to bring in. So reflection, consideration, and then purposeful action. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. God is good, because we'll keep going. My voice is like, all right. Plus I have to go back to work. Yay! If you'd like to work more personally with me, you know exactly where we are. We don't mince words, but we do it lovingly, boink, with a hot beverage, as always. Or you can just sit and reflect with yourself and know that you are worth it. Oh, look at you, 7 of Pence, cute. That little apple, that little apple. You ready to learn? Ready to learn something about yourself? What? 7 of Pentacles is the harvest. Look at you. Reaping. What is it that you're reaping here? What have you sown? Okay? All right. God bless you guys for the month of September. This is a month, even though it started off with not as much activity, which is true, and it's good. It's been a very reflective month, and the information that just came through is kind of keeping in line with that. For the next, I guess 2 weeks, the rest of this month, I would invite you to consider, or I would invite you to continue to consider reflecting upon yourself. Let's go with one more card. What is it? Oh, 2 more. Oh, wait. What was it? Was it this one? No, I think it was this one. No. Yes. Was it? Didn't I? Guys, don't play. Don't play. Wait, you guys, don't play. This is the same card when we started the meeting. Yeah, it's a meeting. Remember I told you it flew out and I picked it up. It was the King of Wands, but a female in the reverse, because we were being asked to reflect both sides, masculine and feminine. We're a little bit in that 4 of Swords, take time out energy, and we knew that. Retrogrades were going on. Now look at it, how it came out, right side up. But I love that she's got this hot poker, and it's sparking. But she understands that this poker is hot and red because look what's hot and red she is, down to her hair and her lips. Your poker is you, all right? And she's not burning anyone with it because she understands, right? Anyway, Page of Pentacles. I don't know what this means, but it's super cute. I mean, I know what it means, but it's not presenting itself here. Oh, I get it. See how she's got this watering can? Look at her. Oh, this is looking like the flower that was on the Ace of Wands in this deck, which is the new beginning. It's a fiery new beginning. It's something. It's catalytic. It's amazing. Catalytic. Anyway, catalytic converter. What? It's amazing. So look at this new beginning that she's fostering, and look at that cute little dragonfly. It looks like her teacher. He's like. Look, I don't know if you can see it, but look at his little hands. So cute. Like, and this is that, and that is this. But look what's happening. She's gathering water to do what? Right? To lower that temp just a little bit, because we burn it down here. Okay. Anyway, God is good, and so are you, because God is within you. All right? Mwah. See you guys later. Bye.